guys, welcome back to my channel and another swatch and review. This is take 2 of this particular swatch and review because somebody deleted the footage permanently somehow. I don't know. I've never done that before, I don't think, in the entire time that I've been doing this. So I guess it was bound to happen at some point. But luckily the actual live swatch portion didn't get deleted, only the intro and outro. So, I mean, small miracles, because that's the part that's like the hassle to film, not this. I can sit here and talk to you guys all day, but setting up the live swatch section, it's just like, I would have been mad if that had gotten deleted, but it didn't, so everything's fine. So, what are we talking about today, Hillary? I have for you the 6-piece China Glaze It's Sugar, no, Hello Sugar. I keep calling this the It's Sugar collection because there's this place, I'm sure that they're everywhere, but there's this place in Las Vegas that I always go to with my boyfriend, and it's called It's Sugar, and it's a candy store, and I just keep thinking about candy. It's the Hello Sugar collection. It is a 6-piece cream collection, and as you can see, this is for the pink lovers out there, okay? And then if you like yellow, I guess you can have it too, but mostly this is for the pink people, okay? This was sent to me in PR by China Glaze, so thank you, China Glaze, for sending me this collection. I do appreciate that. When I first saw this collection on Instagram, I thought that it was going to be textured because the word sugar in the name, to me, it just was like, yeah, they're going to be sugared polishes, because sometimes those like gritty kind of sandpapery feeling polishes, they are referred to as like sugar or sand texture. Kind of like Zoya's Pixie Dust is what I was thinking these were going to be like, but they are creams. They are all 6 just regular creams. So if you had your hopes up about that, sorry to burst that. These are currently available on the China Glaze website for $7.50 a bottle, and they definitely do have a kind of springy feel, although some of these do kind of lean into summer as well, which for me, if I'm gonna be honest, you guys know, I have said this, I don't care for most spring collections. I'm just not a big pastel wearer. I think pastels are cute together. Like when I see a group of pastels, especially like Sanrio stuff is all very pastel-y, Hello Kitty type stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's so cute, it's so precious. But I don't particularly enjoy wearing pastels because to be quite honest, they wash out my skin tone and it just looks a little bit like I'm sick, I guess. So I do appreciate that while there are a couple pastels in here, we also have what kind of looks more like a pastel neon or a bleached neon, and then some more like vibrant colors here. So if you guys want to see more about my thoughts on this and the full hand swatches, stay tuned because I'm going to do that. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. I changed my format. I am going to do why is it so hard to get my words out right now? I'm going to show you guys the live swatches, the full hand swatches, and then we will get more into my thoughts on the entire collection and some extra details at the end. So up first we have Sugar Junkie, and I'm going to be honest, when I first got this collection in the mail, this was the one that appealed to me the least. I don't know what it is. It's like a not quite neon pink, and I love a neon pink. So I was kind of like, oh, missed opportunity. Like I wanted a neon, but you know what? This is actually my favorite in the whole collection. It looks way more vibrant on the nail than I had really expected, and it just looks like candy. They were not wrong. Then we have Kid in a Candy Store, and like a lot of these, actually all 6 of them, I feel like they all have very similar formula. The first coat looks like it might be a little bit thin, but then on the second coat, they all build up to full opacity, which is great because some of these colors are lighter, and sometimes China Glaze, at least in the past, their lighter colors have needed at least 3 coats to be fully opaque, but that is not the case with these light pinks and even the yellow at the end, which was very shocking to me. This is just a really soft kind of baby pink, in my opinion. Another cute pink from the collection. Then we have Gimme Sugar, and this one is kind of the more orangey, peachy pink. When I saw this, I was reminded of Flip Flop Fantasy, which I will show you guys comparisons of, but it's not as deep as Flip Flop Fantasy, and the formula's good. So, I mean, there is that. It's on the same color spectrum. Like I said, I will show you the bottles side by side later on in the video, but it is pretty vibrant, tough to capture, but I feel like I did a somewhat decent job here. This is Here for the Candy, and I found this one to be kind of purple leaning pink, or like more cool toned. It reminded me of an Orly that I have, I think Beautifully Bizarre, just minus the shimmer. It's that really soft kind of in between lilac and pink type of color, and in the right lights it does pull a little bit more purple, as you can see from my full hand swatch. This is Sweeter Than Sugar, and this is kind of the darker version of Flip Flop Fantasy. They just, like, I feel like these are the only two in this collection that look actually kind of similar, even though they are like 5 pinks and a yellow. This one and then the other one that I said looked like Flip Flop Fantasy. I just feel like they are a spectrum of Flip Flop Fantasy. And again, like, it looks really, really bright and vibrant. And then we have Holy Sugar, which is the only non-pink in this collection. It's yellow. And I was so concerned that this one was going to be the one that would need 3 coats. I mean, look at that first coat. You can see a lot of my nail line, or my visible nail, just showing through. And it was kind of thin. But on that second coat, it built right up. And I was so impressed, because in the past, I've not had that kind of luck with China Glaze Yellow. So I am very happy that this one did build up. And it looks pretty cute. It's not quite pastel, but it's almost pastel. So what did you guys think of the Hello Sugar collection? I can't lie to you guys. I've told you this already once in this video, but like I said, not typically a big spring collection person. I don't really care for spring in general. I'm a summer fall kind of a person. So I'm not a big spring collection person, because a lot of them do pretty much lean pastel. So when I first saw the spoilers on Instagram, somebody had posted, you know how they're not like real swatches, it's just like a computer generated like droplet of the color. They had all 6 of them, and I was like, I had a couple thoughts. First of all, I was like, 5 pinks and 1 yellow. On my computer screen, the 5 pinks looked too similar in tone, and I was just like, why would you do that? Like, why 5 pinks? I don't know why I would have been fine if it was 6 pinks, because I love a monochromatic collection. I think those are fun. And China Glaze has done a couple that I enjoy, you know, Paint It Black, and then that white one. Was it called like White Hot Summer or something like that? I don't remember. But the point is, I love a monochromatic collection, but this was 5 pinks and then a yellow. And that, for some reason, was like, what? Why would you do that? And then the yellow felt very out of left field. It does pair well with the color pink, but it just was like 5 pinks and a yellow. Like, why? I didn't understand. However, when I got this in the mail, I realized my perception was way off, because these 5 pinks are very different. And I guess on my screen and the digitally rendered image, it just didn't look distinct enough, but these are all very distinct from each other, in my opinion. The only 2 that I think are like somewhat similar are Gimme Sugar and Sweeter Than Sugar, which I will show you in a minute here, more on that, but they're still distinct enough that they are different colors, you know? And I think that my computer, or the marketing image, kind of did a disservice for me, because I was just like writing this off, because I'm like, they're all 5 the same pink. Like, why would I want this? But they're not, obviously. You guys can see that. And so for someone like me, it's very easy to now justify wanting the entire collection instead of maybe just picking one. And if you love the color pink, then this is definitely a collection for you. Like I said up top, like, this is the pink lover's dream. And as I said before, I don't really love pastels. And the 2 tones of pastel that I dislike the most are like a pastel green, which might shock you because I love the color green, but I don't love a pastel green. And I don't love pastel yellow. However, this feels like it's kind of on the cusp of being pastel. I initially thought this was out of place, but now looking at it in conjunction with the pinks, I do think that it looks really nice together. I saw NYX Polish do a Skittle Mani on Instagram, and he used the yellow with 4 of the pinks, and it just looked really cute, and it was a nice little pop of color, and it kind of broke up the amalgam of pinks there and just really popped, you know? So if you were like, oh, 5 pinks is a little monotonous, well, use the yellow. And it does look really cute and very springy. It reminds me of, you know, when you're a kid and you draw a flower and you draw the center of the flower, this big yellow circle, and then you just do like all the petals. That's kind of, it's like the center of the flower. I'm eating my own hair right now. It's like the center of the flower, and then, you know, you could choose a couple of the pinks to basically be the petals. And that leads me into my next point about this collection is it's highly skittleable. If that's a word, if it wasn't, we just made it one, but it's just like, you could wear, I mean, you could do this with any collection ever, but when I struggle with Skittle Manis, I've talked about this in a couple videos where I just don't know like how to put colors together. And one thing that I did to solve that was I started looking at inspiration pictures, and then like just for Christmas, I looked at people's home decor for their Christmas, and I did Skittle Manis based on those, and I thought they turned out really great. And so ever since then, like that's been my go-to way to plan out a Skittle Mani. But why would I go to any effort when China Glaze just made a collection and was like, here you go, here's a free Skittle, well, I mean, you gotta pay for these, but here's a free Skittle concept for you. And yeah, that's, I'm just realizing that my nail polish kind of looks like Gimme Sugar, but this is not. This is a different brand. Sorry. But yeah, it's fun because it has just such a big range of types of pink. And I mean, it's really fun for a Skittle Mani. I like a Skittle manicure that just has like a really wide range of, you know, I don't want it to be subtle. You know, the subtle gradient type Skittle Manis are cool, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing about me that is subtle, I'm sorry to say. And so I like something that really pops. So it's nice that you have, like, to me, these are like more subtle colors. I'm like fully blocking it and being like, check this out, guys. The Kid in a Candy Store and Here for the Candy are like kind of the more subtle colors. And then the other 3 here just really pop in my eyes. And so I really like that about this collection. And I don't know if I mentioned this in my voiceover because I haven't filmed my voiceover yet. But this did surprise me because yellows are finicky colors, especially lighter yellows. And when I went to put this on, I was certain it was going to need 3 coats at the minimum because I have some older polishes from China Glaze that I don't know if it's just their age or just that the company has come pretty far as a brand, but I was thinking it was going to be more like them and need 3, 4 coats, but this only needed 2. It only needed 2, and it looked fantastic in my opinion, and I was very impressed, and I think it's really cool to see brands constantly improving on themselves. So, like I said, there were 2 that I felt were kind of similar in tone. I know that like on camera it's like very clear that this one's very light and this one's darker, but in my head it's like they're the same color, just you've turned up and down the saturation of these. And when I saw them, I was like, are those literally Flip Flop Fantasy by China Glaze? And I can tell you they're not the same. So I feel like Flip Flop Fantasy is in the center. I feel like it's just the middle of these 2. I feel like you could take these and, I don't know, gradient them pretty well. But yeah, I feel like Flip Flop Fantasy is kind of like a dead center saturation for Sweeter Than Sugar and Gimme Sugar. So just, you know, if you were wondering how similar they were to Flip Flop Fantasy, there's your answer. I will say the formula on the Hello Sugar ones are far better than Flip Flop Fantasy's formula. This is one that it's like you suffer for love for this one, but it's not a good formula. It's rough. And then my favorite from the collection would have to be Sugar Junkie, which did surprise me because when I saw these in the bottle, I thought it was going to be one of these 2 because I just love, I mean, literally I'm wearing something similar on my nails right now, which by the way, in case you were wondering, is Color Club's Hot 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 Pants. A little similar, but I think Hot 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 Pants is a little bit lighter. Again, just in case you were curious. But yeah, my favorite ended up being Sugar Junkie when I started applying it to my nails. And then when I took the picture, I was like, oh my gosh, this color is really rich and really pretty. I don't usually like a kind of, to me, this is kind of a purpley pink, like that in between. And I'm not usually a huge fan of this type of purpley pink, but for some reason, this one, it got me. And so this one has to be my favorite. It is hard to choose though when there's like literally 5 pinks to choose from. So, and then, you know, the theme, Hello Sugar, I like the idea of theme. You guys know me, I love food and candy themed stuff. It's just in my nature, I guess. And for me, especially candy themed stuff is super cute to me. I love that kind of stuff. So when I heard Hello Sugar, my mind immediately went to candy and It's Sugar, the candy store, obviously. And so I was really, you know, intrigued. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's not really my dream here. And I think that had I designed this collection myself, I would have made at least 1 or 2 a sugar texture. I'm fine with the color scheme being predominantly pink. I think I would have either done all pink or half pink, but not 5 and 1. That's a weird ratio to me. But yeah, I would have given it either a little bit more color or I would have made it a monochromatic collection, added some texture to it just for some fun and, you know, play on that Hello Sugar name there. And if I had seen these in the store up close, you know, when I saw them on the computer screen, I was just like, they all look the same. Had I seen them in the store, I probably would have been drawn to them and grabbed 1 or 2, probably these 2, to be quite honest. And I think I would have called it good with just those 2. Now, the old Hillary would have bought all 6 because the old Hillary likes to buy full collections. But this new and improved Hillary, who is on a nail polish budget and is trying to not buy so many duplicates, or at least if she does, not overspend on nail polish, she only would have bought 1 or 2, if that. So let me know what you guys thought of this collection, if you picked any up, or if you kind of had thought the same as me at first, that they looked a little bit too similar. I'm here to tell you they actually aren't, which was a nice surprise. And let me know what you guys think of, you know, single color heavy collections or monochromatic collections. I typically don't see them very often in the mainstream. The only mainstream that I can think of that's ever done it off the top of my head is, in fact, China Glaze, when they did the all black and then they did the all white. I'm sure there are others that I'm not aware of. And I know Painted Polish, who is indie, obviously, they do some really cool monochromatic collections, but they end up putting like gold flake or like texture type stuff in there. So I like that kind of a monochromatic collection. But let me know your guys' thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Let's hope I don't delete this footage.